Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. Recording on Facebook and YouTube. I finally got both accounts back, so hopefully, God willing and Godspeed, they'll last for as long as possible this time. Well, I hope they last for good, so to speak. But yeah, my Facebook was down, so anyone on Facebook might notice. I know I regularly post quite a lot, so you might have missed out. I haven't been online for a while for people on Facebook. I'm going to try and share the link from YouTube, but I had to appeal for my channel and wait for like a week to get it back, a week or so to get it back. But anyway, I'm also clearly not with it, and I'm trying to go in a rush to go to the gym as well before they close at 10, whatever. Or if I get too late, it's not really worth going after a while. But I put in the title Wednesday, and then I put Tuesday, and I thought I'll get it right eventually, and I forgot it's Wednesday. So then initially I put Monday, then Tuesday, and then I got to Wednesday. But anyway, I'm going to try and get my brain to wake up. But yeah, so I'm back at the moment. I don't know if I want to say touch wood and that kind of thing. I'm going to try and say God willing and Godspeed. But anyway, at the moment I'm back on both. It has been a bit of a nightmare with technology, so because I do try and upload on both, but partly for that reason, because if one account gets deleted, at least I've got it on the other. I did miss Facebook quite a lot, even though it is a pain in the neck with so many messages, but I do like to record this content. So yeah, I'm hoping it will last for as long as possible. I hope it lasts. I hope to make videos on different platforms really, and even like silly things I like to keep the thumbnail as it is. Like I don't like to lose any of my videos when I put, although I know it's not particularly hard work, but I put the effort into it. Anyway, I'm just hoping nothing goes too wrong. I know it's first world problems, but with my neurodiverse conditions, I guess I do like things to be a certain way. I guess probably my neurodiverse conditions are that way. But anyway, sorry if it takes a while for my brain to wake up. In my head, these go quite coherently. But anyway, I'm going to try and jump to it, or whatever. So here goes. Welcome to part one of NeuroDIVERGENT or NeuroDIVERSE, whichever term you want to use. Wednesdays. I have to try and remember the day again. And here goes. So these, as per usual, are from pointers number 1 to 10, and hopefully my Facebook and say my YouTube will last for good. But just in case, hopefully at least one of them will last. I'm not sure which platform I prefer the most, but anyway, sorry, I will try and jump to the point. I do apologize. But here goes. So number 1. Because it's a Wednesday, I'm thinking of like, I'd love to support, again, try and stick to the theme of neurodivergent people. I'd love to support neurodivergent poets all around the world. And I'd love to do so internationally. I was going to say in the intro. I'd love to do so internationally, from the poorest countries in the world, or poorest country in the world, all the way to the richest country or countries in the world. And I'd love to, to help as many neurodivergent people to have the confidence to promote their poetry, and also to celebrate historical neurodivergent poets and that kind of thing. I'd love to fundraise to support neurodivergent people to have the equipment, well, that's in this case, I suppose, stationery or whatever, or even laptops or mobile phones or computers or whatever they find it easier to communicate on. But yeah, poets, neurodivergent poets, and a lot of people might not know this, but I'm sure if I take it literally, a lot of people around the world won't know, because I'm not famous, unfortunately. Well, probably for the best. I'll be infamous maybe, but cringe-worthy or whatever know me. But on a slightly more serious note, yeah, my middle name is Poet in English. It's Covet, but translated from, I think it's Hindi, although my ancestry on my mum's side is Punjabi, but Hindi, Punjabi, or whatever, initially, but it means poet in English. I think Covet is a Hindi name. I know it's Indian, but I think it's Hindi. But yeah, I don't know who decided to name me that, but yeah, well, that's just an anecdote for you. That's the right word. So I do want to check if the YouTube is also uploading. So I'm hoping both upload as well as possible, to say. Number 2, artists. I love to support neurodivergent artists all over the world, and I suppose for people with dyslexia, normally poetry and writing will be the challenges, but art is something many dyslexic people could do well at. I mean, dyslexic people can still become writers authors, whatever the difference is, and that kind of thing, because you can get ghost writers, you can get editors, editing software, and all sorts of different things, text to speech or whatever. And some dyslexic can spell to a relative level. So, I mean, some people are a bit more generous. Some people are really pernickety, or whatever it is, really picky with when it comes to punctuation, but to come to spelling or punctuation, whatever. But many probably, at least if you don't write as badly as me. I love writing, despite the fact that my punctuation is probably the worst in the world. Do you think my punctuation is the worst in the world? I wonder. But yeah, art is one that's many dyslexics, and I think people with autism, I'm not sure about ADHD, jumped ahead of myself there, can do well at. Like the school I was taught in Kenya, I think it'd be great if they could sell their art to like the PIF, Saudi Royalty, Qatar, and many others, buying their art and collecting it, and that could be a good way for them to raise money for their school and to help them in the future. But yeah, I love to support neurodivergent artists, whether they're dyslexic, autistic, and or have any other form of neurodiverse condition like ADHD. Again, I don't know about the relationship between ADHD and art. I know dyspraxics like me would struggle with art because of our coordination and patience and whatever. But I haven't really heard of many artists with ADHD. I have heard of quite a few with dyslexia and autism, but maybe there are some out there with ADHD as well. But I'd say I'd love to empower neurodivergent people in all these sorts of areas. And again, because it's Wednesday, I think like works. And on that note, number 3, writing. I didn't mention, I jumped ahead of myself a little bit, but it's an area dyslexics could struggle with. Like poetry can be done, written and spoken. The late Benjamin Zephaniah, who was dyslexic, did a lot of verbal poetry, but also I think he had ghostwriters or editors or whatever, and he admitted that he could barely do his alphabet, still struggled with his alphabet, but he had books sold all over the world, so it shows what you can do with support and belief in whatever. Someone to believe in you perhaps as well, and that kind of thing. But yeah, poetry and writing might be areas where people with dyslexia, for instance, might struggle with, or even autistic people or whatever. But I hope we can network together and support each other, find the right editors or whatever if necessary, or whatever it takes to help us to achieve. I call that poor poetry, art and writing. Number 4, I would love for us to support peace projects and be the peace we want to see. I'd love for us to boycott wars. Like, I mean, I'd love for us to be tax exempt anyway, which I often talk about. But also, I would love for us to not join wars. I'd love for us to be able to divest away from wars, not put our money into war, weapons trade or things like that when we invest or things like that. And or again, if we're tax exempt, I suppose we wouldn't have to be forced to pay for that kind of thing. And maybe again divest away from weapons trade and wars and things like that, and promote the peace we want to see in the world. Well, many people want to see in the world, and hopefully neurodiverse people will generally want to see peace, which I'm sure most people want to see. But some people probably don't because they get profit from it. Because if everyone did, I guess we would have peace. But yeah, I'd love for us to not join militaries, gangs, terrorism, or anything that's violent. And I normally say that for like Mondays, or generally I often say that, but yeah, being the peace we want to see in the world and charitable and things like that, which I hope to come to. And one thing I have to say, and sometimes I forget to say, is like, in spite of the fact that he or she or they let me down on a daily basis, or lets me down on a daily basis, I still love God with all my might, mind, heart and soul. Well, not always, but at the moment I do. I don't know why, there's a generous mood, I guess. Hope he or she or they love me back really, although they have a funny way of showing it. But anyway, I thought I'd say that for a side note. Number 5, I am trying to focus on that note on neurodiverse groups, but I was thinking I'd love to support Native Americans and the Black community. But for these videos for this week, I did one, and in fact it was last week, but I didn't get around to it because I had my tech issues on Facebook and or YouTube, which seemed to happen at the same time, which I suppose have helped me to appreciate them more than I would normally do. Well, I mean, I know I appreciate Facebook and YouTube and getting to upload videos, which I've said before, but they help me to appreciate them even more so. Some people say it happens for a reason, so I don't know if that's the case or not. Or it just so happens to be that at the moment, tech with its new AI algorithms or whatever it might be, delete people's content, because I know it's happened to quite a few people. So I almost felt a bit victimized, but it seemed to happen to a few people. So I was thinking, is it my punctuation? Is it the fact I post too much and get carried away or whatever? I don't think I have ADHD, but maybe I could do. Although I sometimes think I would have more energy, but then I could get burnout or whatever. Or it could be overlapping things like depression that slows me down. But anyway, but yeah, I wanted to focus on neurodiverse people, but I go from off on tangents. But I also dream to support Native Americans and the Black community around the world. For a strange one, I've got to say, but to compensate them for things like being called the N-word and also slavery generally. Not what that word is supposed to mean or whatever, apparently, and colonialism, empire, and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'd love to support Black poets, artists, and writers as well, all over the world, as well as neurodiverse people, and again, Native Americans as well. But yeah, I dream that we can network together and support each other as neurodiverse people, going back to neurodiverse people. But again, Native Americans and the Black diaspora around the world could do the same thing. I have to think controversial thing. What if they used the fact they were called these names, like used the fact they were called the N-word, and used the fact that, or even different N-words and different insults throughout history, and also the fact they were colonized and enslaved and things like that. What if they used that to unite together and support each other? I think that could be something that could turn a negative into a positive. I'm really behind schedule, so I'm going to try and move on. I think that covers everything for point number 5. But yeah, if we were networked together as neurodiverse people, again, I'm trying to focus on neurodiverse people, but also Native Americans. I might cover them another week, and the Black diaspora around the world. Could do similar, I guess. And I talked before, in fact, in October about I did videos on. I hope those videos have been saved somewhere. But I did videos. In fact, I think, funny and sadly enough, that's when I had my Facebook, but I didn't have my YouTube at that time. If I'm not mistaken. But I did videos about covering Black poets, artists, and writers, and that kind of thing. And I was thinking, I hope I get my channel back, because I was worried whether they were going to give it back or not on the channel, my profile. I also think, before I move on to point number 6, I'll say I got, as you can tell, probably if anyone is watching on Facebook, you'll probably tell what I'm saying. I've got my Facebook back and I've got my YouTube back, but I had another YouTube channel which I made when I couldn't access the other one, and they've not given me that one back. They said, we regret to inform you we are not giving you a channel back. I know that can be frustrating, but we decided not to. So that was a bit annoying, but 2 out of 3 ain't too bad, as a certain song says. But yeah, as I say, hopefully they'll last for as long as possible. And Facebook did sort of send me an apology, so they're trying to keep everyone safe, and they have to be careful of scammers or whatever. But yeah, the new AI system seems to be a problem. But moving on, number 6, I'd love to see what neurodiverse people, neurodivergent or neurodiverse, whichever term you want to use, could contribute to Italian football to make it world class. I'd love for us to fundraise for football pitches. I know that's one I mentioned quite a lot. But yeah, because it's November also. And due to my use of alliterations, I'd love for us to support Napoli, which begins with N. Well, technically it's SSC Napoli. I can't remember what that stands for exactly, but I'd love for us to support Napoli. But even football in Italy generally, like for club and country, I'd love for us to fundraise for football pitches, soccer pitches for any Americans out there, and to promote footballs in parks and schools and homes and pitches all over Italy, so people to play as much football as possible, which will benefit Italian football. Teams like Napoli, Roma, and other Italian teams, all the Italian teams really generate, and especially the national team, which I hope does as well as possible, as well as the club and country teams. Thanks, Larry, for the message. Facebook deleted my channel, my profile. So, oh, thanks so much. I bet some people were happy that. I bet some people are going to message me saying, "Well, you thought we got rid of it." But, no, I wasn't sick or out of the country. Perhaps I'll go get my passport renewed. Thanks a lot. Yeah, cool vibes. I'll do my best. Spread the peace and love as ever. Larry Bolton's comments always welcome. As anyone else's as well. On that note, please post whatever you want in the comments on Facebook and or YouTube. Again, I hope to have my videos on as many platforms as possible. So if they're deleted on some, at least I have a copy of them on other places. Moving on, number 7, I also dream we'll help Celtic to be world class. And I often say, even though I'm not that religious, I think, quoting a biblical quote, many hands make light work, something I read once or twice. And so yeah, we work together. I think hopefully we can help each other to achieve so many great things. Thanks for the like as well. I like the video. If that was Larry or someone else. And thanks for Larry for your comment, and thanks for anyone else who comments as well in the future, either on Facebook and YouTube. YouTube, and for YouTube, as I say. Number 8, I hope we can support and encourage each other as much as possible. And also, I'd love to have my own creative room, but also neurodiverse people generally to have our own creative rooms where we can do poetry, art, writing, and all sorts of creative expressions. And once again, I know I said this for point number 4, but I'm saying again, because 8 rhymes with hate, but I love to turn it into love because I love to love, not hate. So I say I don't want to hate anyone or anything. But again, even though he or she or they let me down on a daily basis, I still love God with all my mind, heart, and soul. I know it's a bit off topic, but again, I know it's a bit off topic as well. I'm supporting Native Americans and the Black community because part of me wanted to stick to the title. But yeah, in the future, maybe next week, I'm hoping to focus. Maybe next week I'll focus on Native Americans, and hopefully the week after that, all being well. Again, I don't know if I should say touch wood, but I'm going to say God willing and Godspeed. I will cover the Black diaspora and supporting them. And on the 26th, in 2 weeks' time, I hope to cover the Windrush generation and supporting poets, artists, writers, entrepreneurs, and whatnot from that group. A bit more specifically, but the Black diaspora generally, and seeing how they can support each other, given they have so much in common. But anyway, trying to get back to neurodiverse people. Number 9, I'd love to read from and hear from my fellow neurodivergent people and look into how we can support each other in poetry, art, writing, having our own creative spaces where we can go to. I suppose noise cancelling, because I get easily distracted. That's why I get frustrated if people like call me, so to speak, at the same Michael, top of the voice, and I'm on more, something like that, because I like to focus. In fact, I don't want to preempt that. And I realised, again, I'm very much behind schedule because I want to have some Weetabix to have the energy to go to the gym. I did want to do part 2 at least, I go to the gym, and then part 3 and 4 when I come back. But yeah, behind schedule. But it is what it is, as I say. First world problems. But yeah, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to make these videos, and hope, as they last for as long as possible. And number 10, supporting young neurodiverse, or again neurodivergent, or whichever use people. Now, this is where you have to be a bit careful with the child protection, safeguarding, and things like that, making sure that they are safe, and that also people, that the adults are safe as well, safe from like misunderstandings, false accusations, or anything like that. So the adults have to keep themselves safe, but also the children have to be safe from actual abuse as well. So it's a bit difficult, but I hope there'll be different groups for younger people from neurodiverse backgrounds who might be struggling at school or whatever, to have a place where they have each other's company and they're being taught in a supportive environment. I'd love to make our own independent schools with neurodiverse people, special needs people, whatever you want to call us. But yeah, there could be things on the wall like about poets, artists, and writers saying you can do things. There could be mentorship opportunities, place where they go, where their parents are as well, so they can make sure they're safe, and struggle where there's CCTV, so they know obviously in a safe environment. But yeah, I think it'd be good if they get those mentorship opportunities, role models, and things like that. And on that hopefully positive note, I wish you peace and love. As I say, I've got to go and get some Weetabix so I get the energy, and I'm going to try and do some weights. And I'm out. Peace and love.